Page 30, March Slav, very famous melody by Tchaikovsky. 4/4 time, 2 flats. I'll save us some time. This is in the key of G minor. Make sure you can do the scales. The B flat major scale, because that has 2 flats, and the G minor scale. At least 2 octaves up and down, and you probably ought to be doing the arpeggios for these two. I got videos out on all that. Here, it's pretty straightforward. I have some fingering suggestions, but otherwise, so E natural and a C sharp. Well, okay. And then here, F sharp, E flat. Are we having fun yet? Uh-huh. And I just do it here. I just do 5 and 1 all the way. It's just, that's fine. Make sure you hold that half note down. And we want to hear that rest there, the 8th rest in the 3rd major. Here, rest. 2nd line, last measure. Here. I do a, you can do it 1, 2, 1, or 2, 1. Bring that out though. We want to hear that. And it happens again. Bring it out each time. With the right hand, you're just holding a note down. I just don't really want to use thumb on both of those. On page 31 here, you can do a 4/2 here in the left hand if you want. And they, in the 2nd measure, they have you doing it. And then coming over, you don't need to do that. Do it here, stay there. Stay there. Now you've changed. You have 3. You can do it all right there. So again, at the beginning of the line. See, the 8th notes there. The last measure here. 1, 2, 3, 1. Connect all that together. Stay there. Now, when you finish the 2nd line on page 31, you go to the 3rd line. That D that you're playing, I like to connect it, but I can't because the left hand needs that note. It's in the chord. So you got to get off it a little early so the left hand can have it. So that's all. Just be aware of it. Starting with the 3rd line down in 2nd measure, in the left hand you got triplets. 1 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and. Now you can count triplets all the way through if it'll help. 1 and a 2 and a 3. But I encourage you to get into the habit of being able to go back and forth between duple and triple counting at any time. That's why I say 1 and first, and then force with the 1 and 2 and a 3 and, because I'm switching back and forth. It's practice. It's good practice, and it comes in handy. But you're getting triplets now throughout the last couple of lines. You have to watch those. You can't count 1 and a 2 and a triplets all the way through because you also get 8th notes in the last line. So those. Once you got the fingering and stuff worked out, then get rid of the hesitation. So the beat is steady. As far as the slurring and dynamics and all that go, connect this as best you can, both hands. You can't connect the left hand, but do what you can. You can lift up here. Now, on the staccato, be careful. This is not a real short staccato. No, it's out of context. It's got to be a tired staccato. These people are tired. Ugh. You make it a fairly long staccato, and the 8th rest actually gives you, it's like a quarter note staccato where they've written it out 8th note, 8th rest. That's really, you don't even need a staccato. You just want to just make sure it's short, but not real short. We want to hear the rest on that. You can put in the slurring in the right hand if you want. 2nd line. right hand. The idea is you can't always hear the phrasing because the pedal will cover it up, but you want to feel the phrasing. Again, it gets back into getting in the music and getting into interpreting the music and feeling the music. Feel these sentences, whether you can hear them or not, lift up. It will have an effect on your dynamic, or the inflection is what we call it. It's how you play the note. How you feel it affects how you play it. So pedal or not, whether you can hear it or not, just feel it. Bottom of page 31, you get accents, so watch out. On page 31, second line, last two measures here. Staccato. Again, this is short. This has to be a little shorter than you were to, because it's like a 16th note, 16th rest. It's just a short. Accent. And then you back to bottom line. You get accent, both hands. Here, I think I'd connect them all. And you can use 5/4 if you want. It's just that this is getting loud to very loud, and so you can use a little stronger fingers. So 4 usually comes in handy. Make sure you lift up the right hand when you play the C sharp. Staccato. Staccato with an accent. Ba-ba-ba-bam. Go on to here. Dynamics, go to the melody. This left hand has to be very soft, and that's going to be a trick because you got 3 notes or 2 notes. They got to be very soft. They got to be in the background. It's easy for 3 notes to drown out 1 note, especially when you're lower down on the piano. They just naturally want to get louder. So be real careful. Keep them really soft. Even when you get louder there on page 31, in the second line you're going up. It's the right hand we're after. You keep the left hand in the background. You can come up to about a moderately soft. In the last line, even in the second measure, both hands have the same notes. I'd still keep the left hand in the background. The left hand just happens to be playing the same notes as the right hand, but it's still not melody. The melody's in the right hand. You're going to crescendo it very loud here. Here, you're starting to use more arm, but keep the wrist flexible. Don't tense up. Speed, well, think of people marching. Not real fast marching. Left, right, left, right. Keep in mind you're supposed to be tired now. And that can be a trick because everybody has a natural speed you just want to go. This is going to be slower than that speed for most people. So as you get into it, you start out like this. 1, 2, 3. And by the time you get up to page 31, you're here. 2, 1, 2, 1. It speeds it up. So you have to be very aware of that. And that's hard. I struggle with this. Try and keep it the same speed throughout. Use a metronome if you got one to keep you slowed down until you get into the habit of playing the whole thing at a fairly slow tempo. It says moderato, but that's they don't want you to drag it. They don't want you to go. That's dragging it. Ugh. So it's got a flow, but it's a slow flow. Wow. Now this is a piece for orchestra. We'd like to have some overtones, and it's a slow piece. We got time to hear all the notes. So we're going to add the pedal, pretty much like they're showing, I think. Just notice they're not pedaling everything. You don't want to pedal everything because that would really smear it up. It's going to be overlapping pedal. The notes go down first, and then the pedal, and you change the pedal after you play the notes. It's just an instant after. It looks like it's almost at the same time. It's just a hair after. lift it up on the staccato note. As I play the note, I lift up. The idea, that's that way pretty much all the way through. Just make sure you lift up on the staccato notes. We want to hear those. Now when you get down to the bottom of page 31, this is loud. Here. They have you lifting up. If you want, try this accent, the pedal accent thing again. You just pedal the accented note. You go down with the note and up with the note. It just adds overtone to that one note. And you lift it up at the end for the staccato. Try that out and see if you like it. There's a couple little things about the pedaling I'd like to explain. I'd like to help you try and understand what's going on. They're basically pedaling it with the harmonies, what they're doing. Look on the second line, second measure. You see the first two notes are beats are together, and then you change it. That's because all four of these notes are the same chord, the same harmony. So you keep the harmony, you kept the, and then change it. Because those will clash. Yeah. You can, if you want, change it with every beat. If you want to keep that clean and in the melody clean, you change it with every beat. You wouldn't use pedal at all, except then you'd lose the overtones. So that's something to keep in mind. So you might want to change with every beat there. And when you get to the top of page 31, here, it's nice to have that clean, but then you're going to lose this to here. You can't connect them. I like to connect them. So what I can do is I can legato pedal it right at the end, right before I play the next chord. I'll push the pedal down and then play it and change it or lift it up, whichever. That connects the chords. And this, I don't understand why you pedaled. I would not pedal those eighth notes, but I want to connect the left hand, so I'm going to pedal it just long enough to connect the chords. So the first two measures, I can do them. And again, with the last measure, if I want that clean, I'm just going to pedal just long enough to connect the chords in the left hand. It's like I'm pedaling with the last eighth note right before it. So the last two measures again. there's little nuances about using the pedal. It makes it a little more complicated, but it's things you need to be aware of and listen for and be able to do if you need to on whatever music you're working on. I like to play it with you to check all the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do any dynamics. I'll do the accents, but that's it. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's just try it together. Play it one hand at a time if you need to double check the notes and everything. That's fine. 1, 2, ready, go.